Hello, world, and welcome back to Code or Not to Code. I'm Mili Eva. I'm really happy to be here today. And as always, I'm here with Stefan. How are you doing?
We are back. It's
We're
good to be back.
back! Yes, it is.
And this time with an intro music. Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And we also, I mean, not to blow our own horns and everything, but we composed that ourselves in a really epic jamming session. I think it was my first jingle that I ever wrote. Was it for you? Or are you
Yes,
a pro?
absolutely.
Yeah. First time working with it. But it was really fun. I can recommend playing around with programs like that to everyone. It's a really good, if you don't know what to do in one evening, it's a really good way to pass the time. If you're new to this show, the two of us meet every other week and build or work on one of the amazing projects that we that we kind of yeah kind of brought to life ourselves. We have so many ideas. I think that's one thing about the two of us. Like we will never run out of ideas or things that we want to build. We will, however, run out of time. That's kind of our thing, our style. And yeah, usually on the stream, Stefan does most of the heavy lifting, and I do my best to keep up and maybe learn a thing or two. Uh, but yeah, actually, last year we got a bit of feedback saying that was actually sometimes quite nice because yeah, Stefan is just a pro in what he does, and so sometimes it can he gets carried away and moves a little bit fast, and I'm sort of like here to hold him back when that happens, to be like, what are you saying? What are braces and brackets? so so how does the for loop for each thing work again? No, that's sort of the style of this show a little bit. Last season we were building our .NET tool right here on this live stream with our viewers together. It was actually a really cool experience, and I'm also, again, I think we mentioned it last time, and I'm really grateful to be part of it and to be able to work with, well, Stefan, of course, but also all of you, and your input is really, really appreciated. And yeah, and while we were working, and this is also like something that we kind of do anytime we work together, it's like while we're working we have ideas for what we want to improve and what we want to change and then we run out of time, and then we open issues and yeah, write that down. And so today we want to look at some of those and improve our tool a little bit further. But before we head into all the coding and tooling and everything, if you want to follow us on social media to keep up to date with our upcoming streams and projects and everything, head to our Git, head to our GitHub page where we have all of the different social media links, and you can just choose your favorite and follow us, or follow on all of them. and then we get more followers. That's good. Right. Should we have a little look, because it has been quite some time since we were last live here with you? Should we have a little look at sort of what we built last year?
Yes, but before we do, it's not only us who is back, but also Eric is back.
Hello, Eric. Thank you so much for joining us today.
And also the reincarnation of one of our previous
No.
regulars, who is now
Okay.
toasted training.
I love it. I love it. That's a reincarnation indeed. Also, like we got a theme tune, and Toast and Training got a new name. I love it. Thank you so much for joining. And I will definitely need your help later on. So please stay.
Will there be a link? Well, there will, at some point in time, there will be a link. There's always
Listen,
a link.
Toast and Training has also like helped me just with like basic words that I just forgot. I just forgot words and like how to talk halfway through the stream. So sometimes, sometimes the help is to do with link or with coding, and sometimes it's just with being a normal human being. So thank you for all the support. Oh yeah, and also, do you want to? Yeah.
Toast also analyzed correctly that we run over time a lot. Yeah, this is, I guess,
No,
this
never.
kind of my signature move, isn't it?
It is. I think it really, really is, because I think we were even talking about, should we like have like a hard deadline, or should we have a time? And then we were like, as if, like, who are we kidding? Like, as if that would stop us. Yeah. What was our longest show? I think at one point we were
Almost 4 hours, I think, with
4 hours.
Matthias when we
Oh yeah.
integrated Nuke.
And we wanted to continue, and he was like, "Oh, I need to eat something. I will faint."
Poor guy.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, sometimes we're not very nice to our guests, but
Oh, we should change that.
we should change that. I know.
Well, speaking of being nice, we actually have something to give away today.
Yeah.
Maybe to make up for previous misdeeds. So there is the ABP.NET conference going on next week on the 8th and the 9th of May, where on 8th there are workshops and on 9th there are talks. And we got 4 tickets to give away to the second day of the conference, which includes the talks. So I'm afraid in this free ticket, the workshop day is not included, which would be the day where I'm also giving a workshop about Rostlin, of course, source generators. But there is a full agenda for the second day where you can join. And I'll put in the chat a link to the form you can fill out. And then at the end of the session, we will raffle those 4 tickets. If I find the link. Copy link. There it is. So that's the raffle to fill out if you want to take part in the raffle.
Awesome.
And I guess now it's go time, isn't it?
I think it's go time. Let's have a look at what we did last year.
What did I do last year? Isn't it? No, that's no, last summer. That's a movie. Horror movie, isn't it?
Is it already time for horror themes? It's a good start,
yes.
huh?
Oh, yes. Yes. So we want to show our tool, but I guess not super good prepared because we need a couple of projects that we can run our tool against. So let's use the unit tests or our integration tests. So a couple of them are created here already. So let's start showing off the using counter that we have.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at this project here. I'm giving away stuff. Oh, there's giving away it's overloaded. So we have here a C# project, and this project has, well, one file, one class, and has a using system directive on top. And now with our tool, we can, do we even have it installed? .NET tool -G. Now that's embarrassing, it's not installed. .NET tool install, there it is. I should zoom in, shouldn't I? So we are installing this tool, flashover.tool. That's the name on NuGet. So if you
copy should too.
Oh yes, we need more downloads. If we go to nuget.org and enter the name here, then here this is our tool. And we currently don't have a stable release yet. We only have pre-releases. So to get the latest pre-release in the command, we need to enter -- pre-release. And also in this example, I want to install it as a global tool, which is then available from everywhere from your machine. You can also install it locally, then it becomes part of your repository. I guess this was the very first episode in the previous season where we talked about the difference between local and global tools.
Yeah, I think so. I also had like a little deja vu. It's cute.
So all of the recordings are on our YouTube channel if you would like to revisit them. Great. Now the tool is installed, so we can list it, and there it is. So we can now use the flashover command, ask for help. We can have the using command. And the using command now has more subcommands. We can count and globalize usings. So let's count the usings that we have in this project. And this test project currently has only one system using.
Oh,
Maybe let's add
awesome.
another one to make it a little more exciting. Let's say system.collections.generic and system.text and threading.tasks, where task of T and all the async types live in. And maybe let's add this one a couple of times.
Nice.
This could also be split in different files. Yeah.
Yeah. But just to make it simple.
And there it is. And if we now run it again, now we see we have one system using, one system collections generic, one system text, and 4 of the threadings tasks. But now, let's see, we have this. Actually, let's split up this example.
Okay.
Let's go into the file directory. Let's copy this file. Let's say we have now my class 2 as well. And my class 1 and my class 2. Let's remove these here. And let's say we have, let's say we have these. Okay, so we have, in the first file, we have these 4, and in the second file, we have these. Let's give the counting again a try. It should reflect that we have systems indeed twice, split across 2 files, as well as threading, but generics and text only occurs once. And now we say, okay, system threading tasks, that's rather common. Let's globalize that, because maybe I have it not in 2 files, but in, let's say, 70% of all of my documents, or 10, yeah, in my project. So some significant number, and I want to globalize them. So we are C# 10 global usings. You can put them in only one file, make it global, and then it is occurring in every other document as well.
Yeah.
So
you'd have to go through each of those documents and, like, you know, get it, like, delete it out of there and create a file and put it there. And that sounds tedious, and we don't have time for that. And time is money, and therefore you will install our tool and globalize it with that, which does everything automated. It does all of that for you. And yeah.
Or not. No using. Yes, no using specified, because
I love it.
per default,
still very good though.
I'm glad we built this in, because yeah, if we would run it with force, we would globalize every single top level using. Yeah. So let's specifically say system.threading.tasks.
Nice.
And now it says, cool, 2 occurrences of this using directives were globalized into the global usings.cs. So with now an additional new file has been created. And let's take a look at that. And zoom in.
Nice.
So in the other 2 documents, where system.threading.tasks was previously, it's now gone, and it's now here global using in this new document. And yeah, that means if we were to write a new public static void method, and let's say we want to make this as a task returning method, so we just return task.completed task. Although we don't have the system task threading where this task type lives in declared in this document, but globally for the entire project, we can still successfully .NET build this project. And no, the namespace already contains, oh yes, I have my class 2, my class 1 2 times. So if we rename this into 2 now, because we can't redeclare the same type, that is ambiguous. But now this project builds, so all the usings are available.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, so we can count, we can globalize. What else can we do?
We can also, well, now I see that there is a lot of red. Okay, I still make mistakes with the command line as well. Actually, David is writing something similar. I had developers under me who were afraid of the command line. It's actually, when I started, I have to admit, I was afraid of the command line tool. I guess it had to take me building a tool myself to lose that fear a little
Yeah.
to see there's only
Yeah.
code going on. What about you?
Me?
Yeah,
Wait.
what is
Or
your
David?
Eva? You what
Oh,
is
yeah.
your experience with on the command line?
I'm terrified of everything. I'm a very terrified person. Just start my day, I'm terrified, and at some point I fall asleep. That's basically a summary of my life. And no, absolutely, yeah. I mean, yeah, I was terrified of command lines as well, especially because like this dash dash force. I think I was like the person who's like, no, we have to put that in because there will be people like me out there who will, forget to put and you, I'm really actually glad that you also meet Stefan, but who will forget to specify using and then globalize everything, and it will be awful, and then they will panic, and then they will write bad reviews for our tool, and that will be awful. So yeah, I think it can be really all of it can be really daunting if you do it like for the first time. And it's a
Mm,
very powerful thing, right? Like
it is indeed, and it's quite
you
production ready.
press enter.
David also
Yep.
writes is he started in DOS. I guess that's the ultimate command line experience. And it is quite powerful, yeah, because we actually dog food our tools. Let's jump to our tool repository. So on GitHub, that's the source code to our tool. And in one commit, I think this was in this one. In one change, we actually globalized a couple of using statements. Yeah, so this system.collections.immutable was occurring in 40% of the documents in this project. So we used that tool to globalize it into if we can find it, is it up there? Into the global usings here, and save a couple of lines, like the top, the real estate on the top of the file. Because system collections immutable in this tool core project is so the immutable collections are very prevalent to be used.
Awesome.
All
right.
Yes, you also mentioned we have something else. We can also deal with currently experimental interceptors. In our episode, I'm not sure, 20-ish or something, what was the name of the episode? Number of the episode?
Interceptors, probably.
Interceptors. I think we even had two. We had now I embarrass myself. Jason Bock on the show, helping us out with interceptors. We have here 2 episodes on interceptors and what they do. So let's jump into here. We have a test project with interceptors. Let's check out the code. In this project, we use, let's jump to a different example. That's more, we only have that one.
What are you looking for?
This one, yes. So that's an example of the of ASP.NET Core. Because ASP.NET Core, if we want to build an ASP.NET Core project for AOT, that is ahead of time compilation, ahead of time compilation, some methods don't work. Like the map get methods here in ASP.NET Core wouldn't work for native AOT because they require dynamic code, which means at runtime, the just-in-time compiler is creating new code. But if we have a ahead of time compiled project, there is no just-in-time compiler which can emit this code. So there will be just code missing, so this won't work. But you can have an interceptor which creates at compile time the code that is needed. So shifting what was previously done at runtime, generating the code at runtime, now to compile time. And then an interceptor rerouting this call into this new generated code. And we can run our tool, .NET tool No, just flash over. Interceptor? Or is it interceptors? Can't recall. Let's ask for help. That's not it. .NET. Oh, is it just .NET flash over? No.
Oh. Do?
Oh, no, that should work. .NET Tool. Or is it .NET Tool 1?
Oh.
Oh, just flash over.
Nice.
My bad. Since it's a global tool. If it's a local tool, then I think you need to run .NET, name of the tool.
Okay.
But if it's a global tool, it actually registers it as a environment variable. Is that the name? I think so. And so now we can call interceptor, and interceptor has two commands. First, a check command to see if interceptors are actually supported, because they only work. It says, okay, supports the interceptors experimental features, because we are on this .NET version. They're supported since .NET 8. Also in some .NET later versions of .NET 7, but the experiment started basically with .NET 8. So yes, this project supports interceptors, and let's list all of them. And we see that there will be actually one intercept or two interceptors because of those two map get methods that are intercepted. So we see, okay, we actually have two interceptions going on at compile time, rerouting code. There's a bit of a compiler sleight of hand to call different methods then later at runtime. And yeah, so it's those two. It's at location in the program CS at location 2110. We have the line and the column, and 2210. If we jump back to our source code, we see at 21. Let's click here. Can I see this here? We actually see column 10,
cool.
which is exactly the cursor here. So we're on line 21, column 10. So this map get is intercepted, but also 2210. Those are those two intercepted calls that is working for the ASP.NET Core AOT compilation. And there's a lot of acronyms.
Nice.
And that's what we built last year.
That's pretty awesome.
And the entire infrastructure with all of the tests and build automation and everything.
Yeah, and we also went into a lot more detail than that in our last episode. So, if you want to delve deeper into the code and like how we built it and kind of, how we got to where we are today, then head to YouTube and check out our last episode.
Our Advent calendar episode.
Our Advent calendar. Oh, and you can get, in the Christmas spirit.
Yeah. Well, it's not 7 months to Christmas again, isn't it?
It is.
Oh,
yeah. We have a lot of work to do before we can do Advent calendar stuff again. Yeah.
And we also have Salty Devil back.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining. I love it when all the regulars are back in the first episode. I love it. It makes me so happy because we haven't been online for such a long time, and it's really, really good to see that you guys haven't forgotten us. All right. Shall we jump into today's work?
Yes. You mentioned that we created a lot of issues.
Oh yeah.
During
we have a lot of issues.
We have a lot. Well, I cannot argue that. Where one of our issues is search for a solution. We want to support. There it is.
Yes.
We want to support solutions, because currently we can only operate all of our using globalizer, using counter and interceptor lister. That's the name. Is only working on projects. So if you have an entire solution where you want to operate these on, you would need to, let's say this solution has 7 projects, you would need to rerun the command 7 times, which is kind of tedious. So as a core feature, just as MS Build supports, we can .NET Build, in this case, just a project, but we can also go to our actual source solution and just .NET Build the entire solution, which is now building every project. Well, again, taking a look at which project has a dependency and which project doesn't, and then building the ones which other projects have a dependency on first, and so on. But yeah, basically using the solution as a grouping mechanism to execute one command for everything and having this, this group logically in use. And we would like to support this for our project, for our tool as well. And I guess there was a couple of questions, because what we currently do is if we run our commands in a directory where there is only one project available, we use that implicitly. But if there is no project available or more than one project available, so if we have more candidates, then our program fails and tells us to, okay, please use the project specifier. So we would need to say using count, let's go to help. We would need to explicitly specify the path to the project. So if we are in a directory that only contains one solution, like this directory, we only have one solution, there is no other project, we could select this solution. But what if there is a solution and a project, or multiple solutions? Then again, we need to disambiguate. So we were thinking about adding then a solution option for that, which I guess then leads to the next question. What if we specify both solution and project? Do we then operate on solution and project? Or do we say, no, it's either one, that's an exclusive selection? Or do we want to merge them? Because with a solution must be a .sln file, on a project a .csproj file. Do we maybe want to consolidate them into just one option and have path? But maybe path is not that, if we just say path, maybe that's not too revealing that our tool actually supports both solutions and projects. So what do you think, or what does the audience what does the audience think is the best approach to that? What do you think?
I kind of like consolidating them into actually one thing, and I think path would be quite a good way to do that, because I think if we just have project, people might think, okay, we can do just project and solution, and then you have so many keywords that you have to type in, and if you just say, okay, I want it to happen kind of around here in this path, and just take whatever you can find there, that would make more sense to me, to be honest. But I also understand that you showing off that we you can do both is obviously always really cool. But maybe we can do that in the help section, or we can do that somewhere else, or we just post it on social media every week, being like, "Did you know?" You can not only globalize a project but also a solution. And what do you think?
Documentation is everything. I'm not sure yet. Maybe we move answering this question to the next episode. Maybe also ask via social media what people think, or maybe we can get some feedback live here. I'm quite unsure. Well, I'm always indecisive, I guess. David is preferring always for the fine-grained option. So if I get you right to have both, to basically solution, keep it as is, our current project switch, and adding a solution on top. Well, I guess that's one vote Because
It's a
that's
tie again.
one word for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have any like examples of like similar tools and what they do?
Good question. Let's see if we do. Let's see what .NET Build. Well, if we do .NET Build, the thing
Yeah.
is the project or the solution is not an option.
Mm.
In our case, the option is the usings that you want to globalize.
Yeah.
The option to most of the MS Build project commands is actually an argument. So an argument doesn't have a name. So it's documented as project or solution, but there is no name for this argument. You just pass an argument implicitly by not prefixing it with an option name. And
Okay.
but there is the .NET Run or something. .NET Run may take a project. Yeah, okay. So .NET Run, in order to run an executable project, for example, a command line application, that does. I'm talking myself into a corner. A command line application that is executable. So that's a CS project, and then we can actually pass a project. So the arguments for there is parameters that we want to pass to that application. But if we want to explicitly specify the project, we say -- project. But -- solution doesn't make any sense, because if we have multiple, well, would it make sense? It would need to go to the solution and then run every executable project of that solution. It may not be what you want. So I guess this is not, well, at least this is not supported by the SDK. What about using globbing? Now I need to think. Globbing is the thing with the stars, isn't it?
What is globbing? It sounds awesome.
I think that's the thing with you can enter a star and maybe say, like, if there is multiple projects, let's say we have a project 1 and project 2.csproj, then we could say star.csproj, which then selects multiple projects.
Good work.
If we find glob Wikipedia page, yes, yeah, that's the thing with the wildcards and such. So you could say, for example, star.txt means every text file, but you could also have, you could say like ABC star.txt would now be every text file or every .txt file that starts with ABC and then has anything in between. So yeah, I guess we could support it. Talking about adding more issues. Support globbing. We'll create a Greg Stacks is posting the link. I can't copy that from the system here, but okay, searching it manually. There it is. There is actually. I did not know that .NET actually has a matcher that supports globbing. Cool. Where does the matcher live? It lives in System Extensions File Globbing. That's a separate package. Cool. I was not aware of that. Microsoft File Extensions. How long? Okay. This exists. I did not know this existed. Cool. File system globbing. Okay. This goes as documentation for the next issue.
Yep.
Cool.
I don't think we've ever actually managed to have like less issues after we worked on one issue.
Yeah, no, this never gonna happen.
It's nice, but cool. And I already learned something, and it's like, first couple of minutes of the stream, and I'm already learned a new thing. I didn't even know that word existed.
And I learned about the package. So
There you go.
thank you very much for
Done.
sharing.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. Yeah, our mission is to learn and have fun while at it. So yeah. We talked a lot about solutions. So let's actually take a look at a solution file. The format is a bit difficult to read.
Yeah.
So there is some preamble on how this thing is called. Then we have some IDs here, and all these ideas, all these GUIDs, these IDs that start with 2150, those are folders or solution folders. So we have our tool, libraries, tests, and build solution folder. And if we go to our solution, here they are, our folders. And within those solution folders, we now organize our projects. Well, so we see that the hierarchy of our solution file is not necessarily the same hierarchy we have on our file system or in Git. So those are two separate things. Well, I guess as a matter of fact, we named them the same so that they actually match, but they could have a different name from the file system and in Visual Studio. We named them to make sense out of it, but this is more of an accidental similarity that is not required. And within those folders, well, they're not really folders, they're just solution folders. They don't exist physically, or not necessarily physically. We have those projects, but how they are linked is a bit weird because this tool folder has another ID. And if we go down to the bottom of the document, we see that this ID is assigned to that ID. And this is now the ID of the project that is contained in the folder. Okay, well, my English doesn't work today. So if we now take a look at, that's confusing. If we take a look at a directory, a solution directory that has two projects, CLI and core in libraries, we see that if we go to our libraries directory, it has this ID. We jump down, and now there is two projects assigned to that. And the first project will be, if we scroll up, does the highlighting work? Yes, is our CLI CS proj. And again, jumping down, up here is the other one, is the core CS proj. And this is, I guess, only a part of the features that solution files can use. They're really powerful, but a bit verbose and difficult to read. So you're never meant to edit this manually, which is, I had to add, whenever there's merge conflicts in solution files, this is when I almost start crying.
The single tier.
Yes, single tier emoji, but a lot of, it's not fun.
Okay. No, but it makes sense. Like, now that you explain it, it made sense. But yeah, I have to admit, like, whenever I had to look at it, I was always like, no clue what's going on. Okay.
Ooh. Yes, we are back. Hello,
yes, we're back.
For joining.
Hi. Thank you so much for joining. Oh my God.
Well, again, thank you for helping us with C# 12 last year.
Yes, thank you so much. Oh, that's so cool.
But this is being worked on. So the bit of a complex format here is actually worked on. There is currently a preview for not an SLN, but an SLN-X file. I'm not jumping into a preview version of Visual Studio. We see up here. Oops. No, I don't want to close the stream. Sorry. That's the preview version. And if we go to options and preview features, there is the use solution file persistence model, which is the fancy name to use the XML-based version of solutions. As the same project, just opened it in this version. And if we save that, we can now select also the SLN-X version of the solution file. Let's save that. And let's take a look at this new SLN-X file. SLN-X, yeah. And it's a little bit more
much easier to swallow.
Yes. Well, first of all, it's only 18 lines, where the other one is 70 lines. And well, for our features that we have, I don't know all the features of a solution file. I think it's super powerful, but I don't really use anything other than grouping projects in folders. And it's a little bit more human readable, but also editable in this SLNX file. We just have a solution as an XML. Then we have a folder, and in this folder we have a path to the project. Then we have another folder, path to those two projects, and so on and so forth. And that's way easier. And we could edit this. If there is a merge conflict, this is also manually editable. And now this sad cry emoji is, well, merge conflicts are maybe not always happy emoji, but it's at least a sad emoji without the tears.
Dry sadness. Okay.
But those SLX files, that's currently in preview, so this is not used in all the infrastructure just as well. I guess when it's no longer preview, and then it propagates through all the infrastructure.
Yeah.
So because where we actually then use to open, well, currently projects, but later on where we want to open solutions as well. Sorry, wrong document. Where we want to open, currently we open projects, but we can also open a solution here, but this is not supported in the entire ecosystem just yet. Once it's out of preview, then I can imagine it may take a while, or may already be worked in parallel, but eventually also our MS Build workspace that we're using here, that is aware of the file system, needs to support that as well, which is just not the case yet, but will be eventually. And we also opened an issue to check that once it has been released. But there is more. There is also a solution filter. So this is our entire solution. And let's say I want to have a project that does not, or a view into that project that doesn't contain our build, which our nuke project, how we build the project both locally and in the CI/CD system. So we can hide that. Let's unload the project, but also the tools project. Let's say this is the executable. I don't want that in a smaller view either. Maybe I not start a project. Let's unload the project. Maybe I actually only want to have our core logic. So we also don't want to have in a view, in a smaller view, our system command line interaction that does the parsing of the command line and everything. So let's remove this and the testing project as well. All we need in a smaller view is only our core logic that analyzes a project and gets counts all the using directives or globalizes them. And now we can save that as a solution filter. Save as solution filter. And this is now, of course, neither this bit of a verbose format and also not a XML format. I think this is now a JSON format. So let's call this flashover.tool.core, since this is only our core logic. Let's save that. And let's open that. Oops. It doesn't. Oh, there it is. Let's open only the core solution filter. And now we see only these two projects. The other ones are gone. It actually says here, okay, oops. Come on, hover. Yes. So this filtered solution only shows 2 out of 6 projects from the entire solution, from the full-blown solution. And taking a look at this SLNF file, a filtered solution, that's now, of course, neither verbose nor XML. This is now a JSON file, so there's a lot of different formats going on, which refers to the original solution and only contains the paths of these of the projects that you want to show in this solution file. So if you have like a huge solution that is maybe a big mono repository and one big solution that contains 20 projects, maybe contains multiple microservices, you could make multiple filtered solutions for each and every domain if you only want to work on one domain and don't want to load and build and everything the others. So this could also improve, well, build times or time during development, because you don't build everything but only the parts that you really need.
I missed where you actually filtered it, or where you sort of defined the criteria for filtering it.
So in Visual, this again, well,
Can you
this is
tell
now
me again?
actually tool dependent. So I'm
Okay.
not sure if this actually works in VS Code. I can imagine, but I wouldn't know how. This works a little bit different in Rider.
Okay.
We're still on Visual Studio here because of LiveShare. But in Visual
Yes.
Studio, what you can do is in the full-blown solution. Well, actually, I could do this in this filtered solution to have an even a smaller solution filter.
Mhm.
So we go right mouse button, then we actually unload the project.
Mhm.
So you can unload a project in your solution, and now it's gone. Now this solution filter only contains this project. It actually asks, do I want to update this file as well? And if I would do, now this new file only contains this single project. But since the solution filtered file is also referring to the original solution, the tool knows which projects are hidden or not loaded. So you can load them. I think there is some mechanism to we can show the unloaded projects.
Cool.
Then we see, okay, they are just unloaded. So this unloading, this worked also previously before solution filter files were added. But this, you can now basically save this view of unloaded project into a separate solution filter file. And I think, or I hope, that this solution filter file, well, it actually works with MS Build, so on the command line with .NET Build and .NET Test and everything. They can read solution filter file as well, and Rider works with it, and Visual Studio Code. I'm not sure if Visual Studio Code works with it. But I think that also the MS Build workspace is aware of that. So this would be our two use cases to test for both the solution file, but also the solution filter file. And later on, when it is in place, also the XML-based SLNX file.
Nice.
So there will be 3 different solutions that we support.
Nice.
And Toast and Training got it that, consistent as expected.
I also love the burnt toast picture. It's so good. I love it. Oh, very funny. Okay.
Cool. Let's load the original solution. Well, actually, we can say, can we load all projects to come back to the original solution? Oh no, we're still on the solution filter. Yeah, okay. Oh. And now have everything again. And I guess now it's time. We want to implement solutions. I guess it's time to write a test, isn't it?
It is. Absolutely. Testing.
Shall we do it as always, where we first start at our core level?
Yes.
Get some unit tests going on, and then very likely in the next episode, then implement the CLI infrastructure level with MS Build file-based workspaces and so on.
Sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
Cool.
Let's do it.
So let's jump to do we start with our using directives counter? Because this is the first tool that we wrote. I guess let's add a new test.
Woo.
Can you join? Does it work?
No, I don't think so. Let's see. Yeah, sorry. We have some live sharing issues again. And I just get,
we.
okay, I think I might, no, do you see me? No.
Well, I see that you're, yes, top of the file.
No.
No? Can you
I'm at
try
the
to
bottom of the
rejoin?
file. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
I guess next time we need to choose a different tool.
We really do. Yeah.
But it's been 5 months since our last stream. I thought those issues were fixed, but okay, no.
Yeah, and it used to work much better, right? Like when we
It
started
did.
to stream together, it was actually like very, very rarely that we had like that I just had to quickly rejoin and then it would work again. But like the last couple of months, it's been getting consistently worse, which is strange.
So is this related? Is this directly correlated with the amount of issues in our repository?
What? Why?
We should. No, I'm just trying to make a joke, but it failed. So the more issues,
I don't
so the
get
more
it.
so the more issues in our repository are,
Oh,
the worse live share gets.
because it can't handle all of our issues.
I. Whew, okay.
No.
Is the
Okay.
therapy for software? Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd be funny. You can ask the co-pilot. Can you?
How bad is it? Can you try to join again?
Yeah.
While trying to come up with a name so we still count. Testing a solution, and this should count top level using directives of all projects, of all contained projects. It's been a while. I need to go cheating. How did we create our project? I'll just copy a simple test where it actually worked.
Yes.
Switching to this view to get more space.
Well, is that naming correct?
So
Because
we
shouldn't
have
the solution, like the second thing, shouldn't that be the?
we usually have a method under test.
Mm-hmm.
Use
Oh,
case was the scenario.
see, it's been way too long
Expected.
because I forgot that. I thought it was the other way around. There you go. Thanks.
But I also peaked.
Oh,
I peaked at the previous example, yeah. Because I also kind of use a different naming scheme for all other projects. So
yeah, same.
I guess
But I like ours. It's cool.
I
Okay.
am just as consistent as the solution ecosystem is. So we now want to create a solution, but it doesn't exist yet. So let's create this method. Oh, still doesn't work?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Single tier.
Going.
Why? Yeah. Oh my god. No, like I basically get the pop-up that something went wrong as soon as I join now. So it's a bit annoying.
Okay, so we'll figure this out until next episode and get a little warning of pair programming. So for now, I guess, shall I be, what's the pair programming? One is the driver, one is the, I forgot the other name, driver and director, no. I have to look it up.
I don't know. Driver, no, is there a pilot? No, that's something else. Navigator.
Navigator.
No, I think that's definitely not.
Yes,
it,
driver.
Everybody knows the movement, so it's okay. All right. Yes. What are we doing?
Driver navigator. So I'll be the navigator. No, the driver. You will be the driver. Navigator is just clicking. I'll be okay. Let's use more modern times. We are co-piloting each other, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I guess we have another feature request. What about adding an option for threshold when using solutions? So it only globalizes for projects in that solution with a minimum of X usages. Do you mean X in absolute numbers, or in percentages, if that makes sense? But I'm noting down another issue to create. Threshold. Globalize all above.
That's actually not a bad. Yeah,
Mm,
it's not a bad idea.
I like that idea.
I really like it.
Cool. Okay, now let's try to create a solution. How do we do that? How we previously created a project is we can pass in a bunch of documents, which is basically just C# text.
Oh, sorry.
that we
I was like, have you already written the test? And it's like, no, we need this for the
yes.
arranged part of the test, right?
Yes. We're just at the arranging.
Awesome. Cool.
So we passed in, let's jump actually to a previous test where when we create a project, we just pass in either one document, or we also can pass in multiple documents. So in this test, we pass in 1, 2, 3 documents. But now we need some syntax where we can create multiple projects that now have multiple documents. And maybe this structure that we have here is not the greatest.
Why?
Because it basically only supports because what do we pass? We need to pass in. Well, we could pass in a dictionary, can't we?
We could.
Some training just to jump back to the other, show the absolute numbers on counts. Yeah. Thank you for the idea. We'll create an issue for that afterwards. Absolute count.
We started with 50 issues. We now have 52.
52.
3? Yeah.
52.
Yeah.
Globbing and thresholding. So we could, we could pass in rather than a flat array, we could pass in a dictionary of string and string array.
Why do we need it? A dictionary? Sorry,
so we need a name for the project.
I keep getting lost.
We need a name for the project, but also the documents that we want to pass in. So the text of the documents.
Okay.
So we could, if we don't care about the name of the project, we could pass in a multidimensional array of strings where per dimension, you can think of it of a 2D array, where we in one row contains maybe 1 or 2 documents, then the second row only contains 1 document, and the third row contains 1, 2, 3 documents. And this would be then overall 7 documents, but split into 3 projects.
Yeah.
So there is multidimensional arrays and jagged arrays, if I recall correctly. I need to go to documentation. It's been a while. I haven't done any multidimensional arrays in quite some time. Did you do anything with multidimensional arrays yet?
No. No, I haven't. And also the other thing you said. What was the other thing?
Jagged arrays.
Jagged arrays.
I think jagged arrays are arrays. Those are arrays of arrays, where you can, where you have where each element of the array is another array. So, for example, here at index 0 of this jagged array, we assign another array. But multidimensional arrays you can think of them, if they're 2-dimensional, they have rows and columns. If they're 3-dimensional, then you have basically X, Y, Z, or you can think of that. And the multidimensional arrays, let's hope there is a 2D version. Yes. So if you write a comma, that's now a 2-dimensional array. If you write comma, that's a 3-dimensional array. And you can define the dimensions. So the first one is a 4x2 multidimensional array. The second one is a 2 by 3. And then so the initialization is basically like this. So the syntax for initialization actually looks quite all right. So if we don't care about the name of the project, we could create documents for multiple projects like that.
And where is the benefit in that as opposed to like a dictionary for us?
Well, if we have a dictionary, then we would actually need to give a name for the project that we want to create.
Okay.
But in our previous example, we actually didn't care about the name of the project.
Yeah.
But maybe for this example, maybe we do care.
I'm happy to do multi-dimensional arrays. Sounds cool. Let's do it.
Cool. Let's get
if nothing's sounds cool. And I've never done it.
Just copying a lot of code. I guess we can consolidate later. Now let's want to create a solution. And the solution now has a multidimensional array of params won't work, of course. That only works for flat collections. Documents, yeah. And how do we link this? Okay. So we need to create I guess we need this.
Oh, wow.
Because we need to create a solution.
An unchecked solution or what?
Yes, but the checking. So the check. What we do with the checking is basically, we check if what we create is actually valid. Basically, if it compiles. So what we do is we try to get the compilation, which means we compile the project and see if there are any errors, and if there are, we get all the diagnostics, and if those diagnostics contain no errors, then we created the project successfully. So the checking comes in after. Basically, compile the project. So for this, we would need to compile every project and see if it if that passes. But let's go with the unchecked version for now.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And for the solution, we pass in this collection of documents. We create ourselves an ad hoc workspace and create a solution. So this is the thing that we actually then need to return the solution. So return the solution. And now we need to create, for each document in this documents array, we need to create a project. Now I'm not sure, can we for each a multi-dimensional array? Yes, but we only get a string. So if you for each a multi-dimensional array, I think we get all the elements. So we would get first the first row, then the second row, but we would lose the information about the row. So we need a nested loop. So we go through the multi-dimensional arrays. It's been a while. Because the length, because the length is actually a total number. Let's go to SharpLab. This should visualize the problem. I should have prepared for multidimensional. I was not expecting multidimensional arrays. SharpLab.
Me neither. I was also not expecting it because I've never heard of it before.
String 2-dimensional array. Let's call this. No, we can't call it 2D because identifiers cannot start with a letter. With a digit. R2D2. And let's say we have a 2x2. Let's mix that integers. And in our first row, we have 1, 2. In our second row, we have 2. We have 3, 4. Now, if we would get the length of that, this is now 4. So it's the entire length. But we need to do like a nested loop. We need the length of each, because, well, this could also be, could this be 5 here? No. Oh no, so they must have the same length. So we can't have, so it is like a, what's the word? We can't have, the first row can't have the length of 2 and the second row length of 4. So they need to be all uniform.
So that doesn't work at all for us.
Excuse me?
So that doesn't work at all for us, because we will have like different, right? We will have, won't we have different numbers of items in?
Yes, we do. And Thorsten Training is also mentioning it. Yeah, we need to go to checked arrays indeed.
Okay.
So that's like this. So if we have a new int array of, let's say we do 3 projects. And initialization now, I think, is in the 0, in the index 0. We assign a new array that now has 1, 2. In the index 1,
don't have to use the keyword new.
3, 4, 5. No, right? We are again using C#12 collection expressions. Yes. I never used them with checked arrays, but they do work. Cool. And we have 6. Now let's see if we would now for each, all of them. I guess again we would get them flat, because this is an integer item in R2D2. Oh, this doesn't work actually. Oh no! Oh, okay. So if we for each a.
Oh my god.
Because previously we had a multi-dimensional array. If we have multi, let's add 1, 2, and I'm learning about arrays now. 3, 4.
Same.
If we for each that, we actually get them as a flat iteration. Item in multi console.write line item. Yeah, we would get them. We would lose basically the row information. So we would need to do a nested loop. But with checked arrays, if we iterate it, we actually do get an int array out of that. So we wouldn't lose this information. So it's actually very nice to for each, and then we can basically double for each them.
Okay.
And call this row. And then we have our int column. Well, it's actually not the column, but the item now in the row. We could write here row and just write the item, maybe with a comma. So we okay, we need a white line here as well to end this. And now we could get for each row, we would retain the row information.
Okay.
And I think this is what we could use. So we have, this could be now our first project with 2 documents, our second project with 3 documents, and our third project with just 1 document.
That looks much better.
Checked arrays. I have never used checked arrays.
Yes?
Yeah.
That was German. Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, noch nie. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Arrays of arrays. Actually, can you have arrays of arrays of arrays? Oi, 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 oi. Okay, this is a thing. Okay, I'm not sure if I understand that, but I guess after the 3rd dimension, it becomes difficult to visualize.
For sure, yeah.
So we can for each, checked array, yes. We can for each the documents where we would have now our string collection of, this would be a project.
Yep.
So we can iterate through the project. I guess I'm using project here again. Yeah, let's fix the ambiguities later. And here now we have a document. And for each project, we want to create a new project ID.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we need a counter for that. So let's have integer, because ID should be unique. So if we have do some debugging, we know the name. I think the name actually that we use here, yeah, that's only a debug name. So we could reuse the same name, but then debugging it would be difficult because they all have the same name. So let's add maybe the index to that debug name of that project. And we add that project to the solution as well as this is test project index. We need to where do we do this? Yes. No, hold on. We need to plus at the end. Otherwise we would increment at the end. Otherwise we would mix it up. And maybe let's also use that name in the assembly index. Still a C# project. And then for each, we want to create a new document. Oops, those are our documents here. So we create our, this is a string. Again, the name is, let's also generate some name. So let's have, okay, this is the, maybe, now that I think about it, maybe to avoid that, maybe just a regular for loop would be more readable. Convert this to a for loop, because then we get this counter incremented implicitly.
Did it suggest that, or is there like a shortcut?
No, it is actually, there's refactoring. You can Control dot or Alt Enter for each loop, convert it to a for loop, which is basically just changing the for each to a for loop using the length and then extracting that element out that the for each was doing here implicitly. But also you can also go back to from a for loop. You can, if you have this pattern, if you have the pattern of iterating over the length of something and then indexing into that, that means you can also easily convert it to a for loop. Well, yeah, convert to for eachify it as well, if you have this pattern basically just in the other direction.
Awesome.
And so we get our, this is not just only I. And comparing this one to for loop as well, which we could name J. Maybe we should have better names. Maybe let's call this project index and document index. So out of the project with the document index, we get a document. We create a new document ID, document index. The name of the document will be document name, document index, and we'll pass in the text, which will be our document.
Nice. Okay.
And then we need to actually create the, we also need to set some metadata references so that it's actually compiled against .NET 6 so that we have the .NET 6 assemblies available. We could also use .NET 8 if we upgrade to the latest version of that package that we are using, but .NET 6 is fine for us because .NET 6 is also the lowest version that we support. So let's test for that. And we need that project ID, this one. Okay, so for each project, after adding the documents to the project, let's call this project. How do we call this? How would it be? Well, project would be cool. Project. Let's call this project text. Project texts. Project texts, maybe. This should have not been refactored. Okay. Then we get the actual project, we add the metadata assembly and also say, okay, this should be a DLL and it should be compiled against C#10, because again, that's the version, the language version from C#. The default language version from .NET 6 is C#10, the lowest version that we currently support. Well, actually, our tool should work for lower versions as well. Actually, that's just a tool version. So you need to have the .NET 6 SDK at least for our tool to run, but it is capable of running against other projects as well. It's also capable of running against .NET Framework projects. We tested that. And this now may give a solution that has all of this information. Let's give that a try, if it actually does. Now we need to pass this checked array, which is, okay, I guess we need to string. Maybe the initialization syntax here is not the nicest. Let's call this text. We need that kind of syntax. Let's have first usings. So we have our first project only has one document with system using. I'm quite unsure about this. I guess formatting there will be quite important to make sense out of this. Then our I'm losing track already. Yeah. Then our second project has just going up to copy some of what we already have. So the first document also has usings only, but there is a second document that also has collections generic. And where is the mistake? An array initializer of length 1 is expected. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I'm using the bad. I was using the multidimensional syntax. This doesn't work. We need to have the checked array, because checked array is array of array. So we need to create our checked array and then initialize it like such. Okay. That also makes it more readable as well. Checked arrays. They're gonna haunt me. So we have 3 projects. What am I doing wrong? Oh, because it's I again did a multidimensional array, checked array of arrays. So at index 0, we do, now we can use collection initializers.
Nice.
At index 1, we do two projects. And at index 2, the third project, we add another one. And let's add, it's all of them. Already pasted that, haven't I? Nope. Oi. So, with 3 documents. And I hope that this gives a solution. But I'm quite uncertain. Debugging time.
Yep. But it does look more readable, so that's a plus. Oh, where's another?
Oh, yes. Just pick this. We didn't use that. I just deleted :9 compiles. Do you know the game Bridge Builder?
No.
I'm not sure if we can just show it, but basically there is a game where you have like a couple of elements
Yeah.
Then there is a, I don't know how this is called, like a gap,
Pit. Yeah.
a
Okay.
pit, yes. And now you can use those elements to basically build a bridge. I'm just building a super simple bridge.
Ah.
And and then a train comes or a car goes over and sees if it holds. It's like a physics-based game. And
Okay.
later on, you may have like super, because there is like different heights and everything. And my brother once played this game and built a bridge which was like super complex, and then it broke at some point. So he just removed that point where it broke, and then it worked.
Nice.
Which we still can't explain
Awesome.
physically how this works, but just removing stuff and works, all is good.
Awesome. Yeah.
Let's see if the solution now yields what we need. So a solution has actually the solution should have some name.
Solution 1 or something, right?
Actually, no, the solution does not have a name. No.
The
But
projects.
the projects, yes. And we do have a collection of projects. There is 3 of them. There's project 0, 1, 2. And all of these now should have, so this is the first one that should have 1 document. And this document now should have the how can we get the name? I'm not sure if we can go into the document and get the text via the debugger. I guess we need to add like 2 string or something, but this may break everything. Yeah.
Okay. But it has an ID. I also saw that. And
yeah, well, we from this debugger now, not directly, because I don't know the method that we need to call in order to go into that. But
it looks good.
Looks good. And the project number 1, or the second project with index 1 now has 2 documents, and the third one has 3. So this seems to work. Cool. And oh yes, Greg Stacks is mentioning Polybridge. Is it bad to show like the Steam page of a game? Is this okay?
No.
Well, I guess it is. It's the internet. Is it bad?
No, it's not bad. I want to see it.
Polybridge. Steam page. Yes. Well, this is not exactly. There's many bridge builders, but it's similar to this. And maybe it broke like somewhere here. My brother just removed that, and then it works somehow.
But do you have like a limited amount of materials?
Oh, yes. Yes. I'm not sure. Well, I'm not sure if you have a limited amount of materials or like every material has a certain cost, and you have a limited cost that you can spend. But basically, you can also do jumping and there is. Okay, yeah. Now, now I may do polybridging. There is like 100 different versions of this game. There's even a Portal one. Cool. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do over the week.
New obsession.
Yes.
Ooh, that was lovely.
This is way more complex than the version that I played 10 years ago or something, or 20 even. It's been a while. Cool. In the meantime, I'll post the link to the
Polybridge.
To the giveaway again.
Oh yeah.
For the free ticket.
Yes. If you want a free ticket.
Missed it. Yes, and now we need to pass that solution to our globalizer counter. So we don't pass a project, but an entire solution. And what do we now expect? So count async. Let's copy this signature and make this a project instead. A solution. I just typed the same thing again. What do we expect as a result? So we can't now have just a using count result. Should we just return an array of these using count results?
Yeah, most likely. Right? Because
for every.
What?
Go ahead.
Because like throwing them all together would not make any sense, right? We would want them still grouped for the projects, or how would it actually look like?
It depends on the output that we want to do. Do I still have the example open? I guess we have still some counting. So well, if you have like just a single project, we print the name of the project and then the system. So do we want to consolidate them into one? So we could have either show, okay, solution, or we list them per project.
Yeah. What do you think?
Or should we do both and have a switch for that? Oi. Okay. I'm opening issue number 3. Switch to group by solution or something. Let's group by.
Yeah. Well, what would also, yeah, what would make the most sense? Because like, if you globalize them, it wouldn't matter which project they were in, right? It would be globalized for the whole solution, or would it be globalized for the whole project? For the whole solution.
It would be globalized for all projects within that solution.
But if you, but so like if you only want to like globalize one project and not the others, so yeah, I guess switch would make sense.
Unless, well, let's say our solution has 7 projects.
Yeah.
But we say -- solution for our solution.sln, but we also add this globbing pattern to only do it for projects that start with F and end with another F
Lash over.
project or something. Yeah.
Okay.
So we could also have selectors. So maybe
All that's going through my mind is like, what would be the different names, the different projects that would yeah. Sorry.
Well, I guess in our project, let's say if we have flash over. No, I'm running out of space. Let's start it over.
Okay.
Our globbing could be flash over dot star dot core, maybe.
Yeah.
And this would maybe we have whatever we have in between. So we have a flashover dot CLI dot core dot whatever's between. It would apply to all of them. And so maybe it doesn't necessarily have to apply to every project in that solution. It could also apply to just a subset of this solution. This is, I guess our entire season will be building that feature if we
yeah. The entire season, and we'll have 1 issue less and 50 issues more.
Yeah.
Nice.
Doesn't twinning suggesting, depends on what the tool will do. Will it globalize per project or per solution?
Yeah.
Well, I guess globalizing per solution would mean to globalize it per project, because you can't. No, it's not possible to globalize for a solution because the global using directive is only on a project level.
Yeah.
There is a way. There's also a way, isn't it? You can use MS Build, so you can also add. We talked about this in one of our using episodes. You can also do in a CS project. You can do a global using also in your CS project. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Thank you.
And then what you could also do, but this again is per project, but there is a special MS Build file that you put in the root of your repository that then applies to every project. But yet again, so you would only consolidate it to one place. It would still be evaluated on a project level. So long story short, no, we can't globalize on a solution level unless we also support this MS Build magic group file. Oi.
Yeah. But then it would actually make more sense to just like have them group per project, right? And then if the users are outraged and want us to change that, then we'll change it later.
The name slipped me. Yes, Greg Stacks, that's the directory.build.props. If you have that, if you would enter here a directory.build.props file that has MS Build properties, these would now apply to all of the projects below. So all of them basically would include these as well. But if I would put it here, so it's basically in this directory and below. If I would put it here, then it would only apply to these 2 projects, but not to the ones above. So if we would also recognize that, yeah, we could also recognize that in the future. Support directory.build.props. Okay, we
54, 3.
54, yes. Yeah, yeah, that's an issue for season 2054. Okay, we're about to run over already. Very off. We have on a great
Yep.
start. So let's get something working.
And I'm not even coding. Like, imagine. Imagine if you had me copy the, project, the usings for the unit tests. That would have been hilarious. Could have been an episode on its own.
Ooh, episode.
Yeah.
So we want to, yes. So yes, do it on let's group them by project. So in our current setup, what we just said, let's do it per project. Yeah, I guess that makes the most sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So we now get in. Okay, I'm not sure about asserting that just yet. Let's take care of that later. But what we want to get now is a result that is a collection of these using counts and contains all the usings that we globalized. Now, okay, we do have a couple of overloads as well. Let's satisfy them. Returning the task result, passing in the solution. Because what we can pass in is only the usings that we want to count, likewise only the usings that we want to globalize for the globalizer. So it's the same API or similar API. And now we need to create that array that we would like to return, which is our results of size. The solution knows the project. So this will be solution.projects.length. Oh, that's an enumerable. So that is not evaluated just yet. So let's actually evaluate that or materialize it. Let's get a hold of our projects.toArray. And we want to get the projects.length. Because if the solution has 7 projects, currently we don't do any filtering or globbing. We do it for all of them. Then we return 5 results. So in our test case now 3. And for each project, for each project, we basically can call the count async that we already have and pass in the project. And the usings and the cancellation token that we want to, because our commands are also cancelable. Let's await that result. This will be now one result. And let's store that result in the index. Now we need an index of the result array and return that array. But we don't have an index, so again, we need to convert our for each into a for. Well, alternatively, we could have an index here and then say index plus plus here. Would you prefer that? Or
yeah, sounds good.
Converting it into a for loop where we basically now have the index.
That's what we did
from here.
above, right?
This is what we did in the what we did
then let's
in
stay
our
consistent, I'd say.
In our unit test setup.
Oh, okay.
Going here. So this is what we did in our unit test setup. Yeah, but we could also do it. So we could also change that again. So what do you prefer? Having a for loop with the index or doing it in a for each and explicitly declaring the index ourselves?
I don't mind. I like for eaches. Let's stay with for each then.
for
That's
each
what
it
we've
is.
got,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
And this should now, if we run the test, return actual result. Okay, hold on. Yeah, we're counting all the usings. What do we expect? We expect the first project has one system, the second project has two systems and one collection generic, and the third project has three
A lot of
systems,
systems.
two
Oh, yeah.
generics, and some of the rest.
Okay.
First project has one system.
One system.
Second project has two systems and one collection generic. And third, yeah, there's a lot.
Oh, wow. Oh, but
Three
it's three
systems.
systems, two
Yeah.
generics, and they're also ordered in the correct way. So that's good.
Cool. So actually, since we had the abstraction of, or the implementation of a project, all we had to do is for eaching over a solution for each project and just run the same thing again. And I guess this is then also this place where we could now, so we currently just do all of the projects. This is where we could do some globbing or some filtering on that solution to not select all, but maybe a subset of projects within that solution to globalize, or no, to count the usings in, but for the globalizer, also globalize the project, globalize this usings in, and for the interceptor, list the interceptors in. I'm not sure if this was grammatically correct. I guess it was not. Okay, let's get this test green. Or no, let's actually
I guess. Would it be
test
green
it.
actually? Because there's nothing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it would be
Easy.
green, but we
Done.
don't have any. We don't assert
Green
anything.
tests means everything works, right?
Well, we cheated a little because we did the implementation before we actually have a failing test. So what do we expect? We assert dot collection from the actual result. Well, actually, we assert that the length of that result set is free. And on, hold on, this is not a collection. Yes, on, how does this syntax work? Collection, I think we pass in the enumerable and the action that we want to inspect. Yes, inspect. So this would be the first. Or can also index 0 maybe. And for index 0, we can now we can expect, because we already wrote a bit of a helper that asserts for one result. We could bring this one back and copy this 3 times. Maybe not the most beautiful solution, but for now it should work. We have expected result 0, expected result 1, expected result 2, where we have, oops, this is okay. Then for the second project, we have 2 systems and one system dot collections dot generic. And here we have 3 systems, 2 collections dot generic, and a bunch of these.
Else.
Yeah, but I'll copy this from an existing test.
Nice.
No, 2 of these and 1 of each. If we don't have any additional one, IO link HTTP threading tasks. IO link HTTP threading tasks. Yes.
Easy.
And now we can use that on each of these indices and say expected result 0 is index 0. But we need to pass in the actual result here, yes. And do this 3 times. Index 1, index 2, and compare this against the expected as well.
Nice.
First, I'll remove some of the logic to see that the test is failing. Let's only take the first 2 projects. Take 2, which only takes the first 2 projects.
That's cool.
So we skip the third project. Take also as an overload, I think, where we can pass in. Yeah, we can also pass in a range. So we could say, okay, take from project 0 to 2. This would be the same. The first index is inclusive. So this is the from index inclusive, and this is the to, or the end, index exclusive. So this would mean we would get 0 and 1.
Got it. But take 2 is pretty.
So if we would have, so if we would like to get, like, let's say if you would like to skip the first and the last one, you could say 1, head 1.
What?
Where the head means basically from the other end.
Okay.
So if you say head 0 would actually mean length. Let's go to sharplab time.
Yeah.
Let's do an array. Do we still need this? No. Let's have a simple array. Initialize it with 0, with the indices 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And need to give it a name. Let's do it for each. And let's say we want to get the full set. So we would write 0, head 0. Var item in array, console.writeLine item. Now we get every element. Because head 0 is basically the equivalent to length. Length in this case is 10, because we have 10 items. But the end is non-exclusive, so the index is not 10, but 9. And we would get from index 0 to 9. So we get all of them. If we want to basically cut off the first and the last element, we can say from 1 to head 1. And now we only get 1 to 8.
Can you go negative as well?
This is the range syntax. I don't think negatives are supported here, no. Oh, they actually are, but we go out of range exception because so range, the type range. I did not know that. Actually, does support negative values as well. Oh no, we get an out of range here. No, okay, no, the range already goes out of range. Okay, no, it needs to be non-negative numbers.
Okay.
Well, the C# syntax would support it, but the type range does not.
Doesn't. Fair enough.
I think you can actually make your own. You could make your own range type that supports the C# syntax. There is something that you need to support. There is some compiler magic, not compiler magic, but a bit of a source.net pattern that's pattern based. This syntax works because range has. I'm not entirely sure if I'm saying all right, but there are some methods. Is it like the start at, end at? I'm not entirely sure, but the type must have some methods in order to support that syntax. Or maybe is it just this constructor? I'm not entirely sure, but if your type supports some of them, so you could have your own negative range type that supports it. So technically syntax C# style, yes, but .NET range style, no, because that's array based and arrays don't have negatives.
Okay. But this take 2, that takes the first 2 items in the array. Or...
Oh yeah, take. So if we have take 2, just with an integer, yes, that takes the first 2.
Two.
And I think
Okay.
there's also an overload where you can set the start index. I think it's this. No, it's not.
Mm.
Is there a different method? Take.
Ooh.
Not sure if there's an overload that is not range based. No, it isn't. Well, there is a skip though. So which is the opposite. So you could skip the first one to represent the same example. You just could skip the first one and then take the next 8.
Nice.
Then you get this. Or alternatively, you use the range syntax with the take, which basically includes the skipping because I take from index 1 to end 1 exclusive. So that's the
That's the
not
same.
the same, but equivalent.
Okay.
So long story short,
But we only wanted to take the first 2 because we wanted to get the test read, right? That had nothing.
we want to get a bad test. Yes. So let's say long story
Yeah.
short, just to okay. I was totally
story
unnecessary exploring range. Is this the reason why we overrun? Oh, yeah, I guess it is.
No.
And it fails indeed
It's red.
because, well, we expected a length of 3, but had a length of 2. If we remove that assertion, we should fail down the line with something similar, I guess. Let's see what it says.
Oh.
Oh, hold on. No, the test pairs collection. Ooh. No. Using directive. What's wrong? I'm unsure. Oh, okay. This helper method actually expects that we have test project, but we don't have this index here. So in this case, I guess we need to have an just adding an index here to support that naming. I'm also putting the link to the raffle one last time in the chat before we do the.
Yeah. Do you also want to show again what it's for in case somebody joined a little bit later?
Yes.
Or
good idea. So that's the ABP.NET Conference 2024. That is next year. It contains 2 days. First day is for workshops. Second
Not next
day
year, is it? It's next week.
Did I say next year? No, next week. Where the 8th of May is workshops and the 2nd of May is the talks. And for the talks day, we have 4 tickets to raffle. And if you enter the form, just at the end of the stream, we will.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Raffle them. Is that a verb? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. For the talks and the workshops are also really, really cool. And there's some really famous, awesome speakers like Stefan.
Yeah. I couldn't resist to talk about source generators.
Have you got 2 workshops? Or is it?
Oh no, that's one, but it's a 2 hour. It's 2 hours. So
wow. Gotcha. Oh wow.
It's then part 2. So it's actually it's my first 2-hour workshop that I'm giving.
Yeah. I mean, if you sort of need to fill the time, just talk about range and
ranges. Ranges and jagged arrays. So is this now let's run the test. What we hope it is. Oh no, we still need to pass the index. Yes. So this will be index 0, 1, and 2. I guess we should abstract this to make this a bit more readable and reusable. But for now, just to get the basic logic going, we now indeed fail again because the expected count is 3, but the actual count was 2, and it actually prints. Yeah, it prints that our actual collection only has project 0 and 1, but misses project 2. So
All right.
let's assume now we start implementing the thing. Let's get rid of the tick. And this should now get a test green. Woohoo.
Woohoo! Nice.
Cool. What's next? So from the TDD cycle, first we somewhat had a failing test first, then getting the test green, and now it's time to refactor.
Yeah.
So maybe we can put in this initialization of this text. Maybe we can put this into a little helper method that creates this jagged array, makes it a little bit more easier to create. And also, well, creating this expected, because we need to, for every project, we need to create one thing. Maybe we can also create it for that an array of maybe another jagged array. No, I'm not sure if this is the right solution. To create this the expected more concisely, and then also the assertion. Well, I guess all that we do, because we will have now multiple tests to confirm all of that and to make this a little bit more reusable. But I guess this will be something. Shall we finish on time for once?
Oh my god!
Or do we?
Yeah.
Or would it be? Or would it be classic to? What's the word to go over? To go over again.
Well, personally, I think I'm always happy to go over. So personally, we can. But because we have a raffle, and because
Yeah.
I feel like we at least owe it to the viewers to give away that before, so they can drop off and get some food if they're hungry.
Oh yes, that's very fair. Just taking a look if this one. Okay, so I will post the link to the raffle one final time. Who would like to join?
It's the countdown.
The final countdown.
10 seconds
And
left.
while we give a chance to fill it out, if you would like to win for the ticket. My English is not very good today, isn't it?
Mine neither. I don't know what's wrong with us today. Like, we literally came on, it should have sort of stopped. But I think maybe it's literally because we haven't done the stream for a long while, and I feel like especially with language stuff, it just goes away if you don't use it. You lose it.
Oh, yeah.
It goes so fast because I used to live in the UK, and my English was pretty good when I was there, and I was like, oh, I'll forever be able to speak English pretty well. And then I came back, and within like 3 months, I was so bad. I was so terrible. People kept visiting me, and I couldn't really hold a conversation with them. It goes really fast. So I think maybe it's just the break that we had from the stream as well.
So we'll get back to old glory. So what's next? I guess we will refactor this, the little bit of tedious part, refactoring this a little bit offline, and also introducing tests for the other use cases as well, for the globalizer and for the
intercept.
Yes, thank you. For the interceptors. And then we could continue next time by implementing this pattern for having failed tests. We start with failed tests, and we implement the solution for the globalizer and the interceptor counter as well. And then we could go on in the next episode then to the integration tests, where we actually create those solution files,
Awesome,
a little bit verbose solution files, and test it against the file system as well.
Sounds like a plan.
Cool. And then speaking of next time, I'll bring that in. Hope it's still there. Is it? Yes. No. There it is. Yes. So our next time will be in almost 2 weeks, a little bit less, on Tuesday, the 14th of May. So that's in UTC at the same time, same channels. But we will write out social media post as well, and link to our. I created this just yesterday. our organization's README. That has all of the links.
Yes, so give us a follow so you keep up to date with our upcoming streams and shows and what we're up to, and yeah. And then we'll see you guys on Tuesday, hopefully. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm now looking at the. Actually, did anybody still wanted to take part of the raffle? Because I apparently set the time to 9 o'clock Vienna time, and it closed. Does anybody still want to join the raffle? Could open. I'm prolonging it for. No, it should be active again. If somebody still wants to join, because we currently have 2 responses, so 2 people get tickets.
One.
Now I'm a little bit sad because I kind of prepared a little bit of a raffle thing. Okay,
we can still raffle.
We can still. Okay, cool.
The 2 of us could also. Oh no, we need 5 for it to be interesting.
So Greg Stacks took part and David O. So what? Well, a little bit of to shuffle, because the plan was to have more than 4, and then shuffle that array, and then just take the first 4. But since we only have 2, I guess this is what random shuffle does. Basically, shuffles the array. So this is how you could select 4 randoms, and every time we run that, it just shuffles that. So I'm keeping this open for 30 more minutes. If somebody still joins in, I guess the chances are high to get a ticket. But Greg Stack and David O, you're sure to get a ticket, and I'll message you in half an hour or so.
Awesome.
And
I've never done a raffle.
It was great.
Thank you so much, Eric. For joining. Hope you have a lovely evening. Thanks for joining, and hopefully see you next time.
And I hope I pronounce it correctly.
I just gave away my age. Wait, what was the other hard thing? The Gen Z? Haha! Yay! Does that look okay? Woohoo!
The only thing I can do is like A. How do... There is is that a B in sign language? Is that a B? Do you remember?
I don't know.
M and an N, isn't it? Oh, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's also it also differs from language to language. So I don't know German sign language, and I've absolutely no idea about English sign language whatsoever. So
then, yeah, I guess the Greg Stacks figured out the best way to use the emoji. Is that? No, I guess I never did this. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you? Okay.
It's tricky.
You have to teach me.
Okay. All right, cool. But how do we feel the next half hour? Do you want to?
No, I'll do this off stream then.
Off stream. Okay. There you go.
Somebody still joins in 20 more minutes time.
Nice.
Cool. Did you forget anything? So we talked about what we're gonna do next time. We talked about when next time is gonna be. 14th of May.
We encourage people to follow us on social media.
Yes. I'm
all the boxes
pasting in the link to our GitHub organization again. And I have the feeling of forgetting something. Are we?
No. I mean,
it's been a while indeed.
We've collectively forgotten it, so it's okay.
We'll figure out technical issues, and next time we'll be more fluent.
Nice. But thank you so much for everyone for joining. It's so cool to be back and to have everyone back as well. It literally feels a little bit like, coming home. It's cheesy. I'm cheesy today. But no, thank you so much for joining us again. And also thank you, Stefan, for taking over when I didn't.
Well, the
when I
tooling has failed
couldn't.
us
It has. Yeah,
again. So,
that
well,
was
give it
sad.
another chance. We'll figure out a different tool chain. Yeah,
Yeah, totally. But I hope you have a lovely evening and see you soon.
we'll be back.